Hello there, welcome to the channel. Now, if you've not been watching this, there is currently watchable on HBO Max if you were in America, or on Now TV if you were in the UK, a brand new IT TV series called Welcome to Derry. If you haven't been watching this, you are missing out. I've already done an episode where I covered, probably with spoilers, episode 1. This is about episode 2, but I am going to keep the spoilers to an absolute bare minimum because I genuinely do want you to go and watch this show. So this is just going to be a brief overview of some of the things that happened in the episode and just why you need to go and see it. See what I did there? Now, episode 2 pretty much picks up where episode 1 left off, but a little bit later. Episode 1 ended with an absolute bloodbath at a cinema where the kids who we thought were being set up as the new Losers Club were mostly massacred by the very likely only just waking up Pennywise, who's not quite got his footing yet, as far as I can tell. But they are absolutely decimated. 3 of them just gone. So any delusions you had about this being a dream sequence or something are just dashed. They're gone. And we slowly get introduced to a new group. Now, this episode seems to focus a lot more on character development, less on the gore and the violence, but it does have that. There's still bits of Pennywise, like a whole thing in a supermarket where there's obvious little winks that Pennywise is, as always, constantly watching people. You see a lot of the setups of how Derry just seems to operate, where the whole town is just infected by Pennywise, to the point where adults turn a blind eye to the general violence and weirdness that happens with some of the kids. Brushing off a lot of a kid being beaten up right outside the stores as boys will be boys, and just dismissing that as that's fine. You can see literally everyone's walking past, but someone who doesn't live in the town or don't just come to the town more actively, who Pennywise has clearly not got any influence over yet, she actually steps in to try and stop it. See what I did there? Now, this whole episode, as I said, seems to be much more focused on character development and trying to progress the story, which I did appreciate. At first, it feels a lot slower. The whole supermarket scene being a standout moment with it's like the shelves are rearranging themselves like she's in a maze, and eventually all the pickle jars start to come to life, and she's basically accosted by the severed pickled parts of her father asking her for a kiss. There is a particularly gory moment where one of the characters' bed comes to life as Pennywise becomes her mother, and she's thrown out of the bed as the bed slowly turns under the blanket into her being in the womb. She is then born out of the bed, still attached by a large gross umbilical cord, which the whole scene very much reminded me of A Nightmare on Elm Street. The whole beginning, well, not beginning, with a bit where Johnny Depp is killed in a bed and it's a massive bloodbath. And just the general ickiness of Pennywise creating these sort of fleshy organic parts, and it's all kind of dreamlike, very much reminds me of Freddy Krueger's abilities and how he creates kind of illusions through dreams that can hurt you. And just saying, it's a little thing that reminded me of it. I don't think it's an homage or in any way saying the two universes are connected. I just found it interesting. It evoked that memory with me. And then the girl is then pulled back towards the bed and has to bite through the umbilical as what is the womb of the bed has turned into Pennywise's mouth, and for the first time we actually see the deadlights shining out as Pennywise's eyes glare at her hungrily. I don't want to spoil any more of the episode. We see a lot more of what's happening with the military in this one, and what they're looking for, what they're doing, with a lot of this revolving around Dick Halloran, a character that actually appears in other Stephen King books. We see a lot of how what his psychic abilities are being used to do, and that they're trying to zero in on the creature we know is Pennywise. Now, I don't want to spoil it any more than that. This episode is very much character driven. It's very much actually introducing you to the characters, who they are, what they are, and it is advancing the storyline by pushing the characters, which is something I really appreciate. But it still manages to still keep up that tension, still keep up the creep factor, and just keeps the pressure on. It is a little slower paced than episode 1, and there's certainly likely less Pennywise in it, but I think it's a necessary episode to keep the characters going. Now, with that said, I only want to take up a few minutes of your time. As I said, I want to keep the spoilers to a bare minimum. Go watch this, stream it on whatever streaming service you have in whatever country you are in. As I said, in the US it is currently on HBO Max, and in the UK it is on Now TV. If you made it all to this video, thank you for watching, and bye bye.